Hey there. So what we have here in our week 5 practice file is the door counts from 2 academic years, 2016-17 and 2017-18. Last week we worked with cleaning some data from 2 or 3 months of gate count data from Atkins Library at UNC Charlotte. And so what I did was took that data and added it to data that I have been keeping in our larger database at UNC Charlotte for gate counts. Actually, our gate count data goes back many years, but I just pulled together a data set from the last 2 years for us to work with in class. So let's take a quick peek at what we're working with. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze the top row so that our column headers stay put when we scroll. So I just highlight that top row. I go to View, Freeze Panes, and Top Row. And then I just unclick. And so now, and I'm going to give it a color too so that it's easier to see. So now we can see what we're working with here. And I'm going to also expand some of the column widths. So to do that, I just clicked on this top left corner to highlight everything. And then I just go between 2 columns. It doesn't matter which ones. I chose A and B. And I double clicked. So now everything's expanded and a little cleaner to look at. So here we have our sensor names. These are those original sensor names. So for example, we have South Entrance. We have several names for South right here. But then over here under location, we have we've changed them all to a uniform name. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom to see how many records we're looking at this time. It's going to be quite a bunch. It looks like we have 158,897 records. It says 898 here, but that first row, remember, is our column headers. So now we're going to create a pivot table. I'm going to go back up to the top of my page. I just hit Control Home, and you can just click in any cell in your active worksheet. Now we're going to go to Insert here in the top navigation ribbon. And over here on the left, it says Pivot Table. So we're going to click Pivot Table. And this gives us a pop-up box, and typically it's going to be filled out to include all of the data in your spreadsheet, which is what we want. And it says it's going to put it in a new worksheet, so a new tab, and that is good too. So I'm going to say OK. And so now you see here it put this new information into sheet 1. Let's go ahead and double click on that and call that Pivot. And here it says click in this area to work with the pivot table report. So I clicked here and it popped up some choices over here on the right hand side of the page called Pivot Table Fields. If you ever need to get back to that, you can simply, like sometimes you're working and it goes away, you can just go to Analyze up here under Pivot Tables, and it is called the field list. It's right here towards the right. So let's take a quick tour. So over here under Pivot Table Fields, you see we have, these are all of our row headers or our column headers. So we have the sensor name, date, time, traffic in. So if we do that, if we sum that up, we'd know how many people are coming into our library. Location, that's South Entrance, North Entrance, and coffee shop. Then we have time of day, day of week, particular day. Down here we have academic year, semester, etc. And so then down here on the bottom, it's so much fun to play with these. The first column or the first box is called filters. So let's go ahead and put academic year in the filter. And then over here, let's go up here and find our traffic in right here. I'm going to drag that down to values. And it now is over here, we're giving a value of some of the traffic in. We can see that we had 2,979,707 incomers into our library for the entire data set. But maybe we want to see how this looks by individual academic year. So let's go back and find that academic year again, and we're going to drag it down into rows. So now we have the total of the incoming traffic for 2016-17 and 2017-18.